Hello ladies and gentlemen, Bolt Matrix here for the Chosen Prime, and today we are taking a look at Weijiang NE-01 New Evolution Megamaster. This figure came direct from Weijiang to me, and this is it's a Megatron. It is a very, very large new Megatron figure. Folks have said that this figure, folks have been wondering if this figure is just a redo of the Masterpiece Megatron that we already got. That is not totally correct. This figure does come with some of the similar accessories as that figure, with some new ones, similar faces as well, but he has a little bit more posability, a different transformation, and, well, he's just bigger. Here are Masterpiece Prime and Masterpiece Megatron to show you just how much bigger this figure is than the standard Masterpiece figures. I mean, he's at least half a figure as tall. Just like MP10 Megatron, he comes with an orange cap that goes over his gun on his back. That is to get through U.S. Customs. He comes with a fusion cannon, which attaches to his arm very easily via these two clips, which just plug right in. Well, they would plug right in if I put them in the right way. But plugs right in, snaps in, and is looking good. Like the original Masterpiece figure, this figure comes with a Morning Star, control cap, metal key to Vector Sigma, laser blaster from the 1986 movie, laser sword from the 1986 movie, 3 different faces, yelling, stoic, and crying, a damaged chest piece, and finally the best addition, a silencer. Now this silencer is special because this transforms into Laserbeak. I'm not even joking. That is probably the best Masterpiece addition I have ever seen. I mean, this piece just turns right into Laserbeak. Now, I'm doing a little poor job of transforming it, but I love this. I think this is reason alone to get this figure, is just to have the transforming silencer that turns into Laserbeak. And this little Laserbeak can then attach to Megamaster's arm. As stated before, the figure has changeable faces. And the way we do that is bend the head back, push up on the chin, and that exposes this lovely look. Now, those of you that are not familiar with the 1986 movie, this is almost an exact representation of Megatron being reformatted, or the inside of Megatron's head when he was being reformatted by Unicron into Galvatron. I think this is an absolutely brilliant touch on the designer's part. Now, to put the head back, we will just go ahead and slide the head back down and snap it into place. And I'm going to go with the stoic look for the rest of this review. Featuring 28 points of articulation, the figure is incredibly posable. However, my version of the figure does have some issues with the ratchets in the hip joints and the shoulder joints. All of the ratchets are a little bit too loose for my liking. From what I've seen of other reviewers, they don't seem to have the same problems that my version of the figure does. I'm not saying that there's an actual problem with the run, it just appears that this specific figure's ratchet joints in its shoulders and its legs are on the slightliest of loose sides. So this figure does have some posing problems, but we seem to be the only ones that have this issue. Other reviewers don't seem to have this issue, so it might just be a one-off problem. That being said, you can pose this figure beautifully once the ratchets stick in place, and all of the accessories give you the ability to make some wonderful poses. One neat thing about the fusion cannon is that it does have a ratchet on it, or a series of extenders, so you can extend the scope out when in gun mode. I think that is a brilliant touch. Also, the gun connector port, or fusion cannon connector port, slides up and down so that you could get a more flush look while in gun mode. Also, there's a laser sight in the scope. It's not that powerful, though, so you're not going to be able to have your cats chase it. All right, then, let's go ahead and get into the transformation. It is complicated, but it's actually not that hard once you do it once or twice. To start off with, we're going to collapse the arms into the shoulders and then flip the shoulders, or the shoulder pads, up over the fists, and then they will peg into those panels you see there. We can then extend the rear barrel out of his back, and once we do that, we are able to open up the front chest and the back shoulder area and flip into the head into the chest compartment. Then open up the back, take the one arm from the right-hand side, and it will flip all the way around and combine with the other end to form the back of the gun mode. This is apparently very similar to Oppion, one of the other third-party Megatrons. Then we come to the hips, flip up the front skirt armor, open up the legs, and then start with some origami on the legs. Open up the inside of the legs, fold out the entire inside of the legs and the feet. Then we will fold other components down to form the inside of the stocks. Then we could drop the upper legs into the lower legs while collapsing a couple of panels, and then flip the actual lower legs 180 degrees at the rotation point at the upper thigh. And then once that's done, we can then finally combine the two halves together. But we also want to collapse the feet into the stocks. Once all of that is done, then we can finally collapse the entire handle section up into the gun section. And then flip a few minor panels around here and there to form the trigger mechanism or the trigger guard and the very front of the gun at the bottom. It's very tricky the first time you do it, but it all makes sense and works well. And here we have the base handgun mode that is ridiculously oversized, which makes sense. The trigger is spring-loaded, so it does pop back and forth. Everything pegs in well, and it holds together in this mode incredibly well. Overall, it's a really, really nice basic handgun mode with a stock. Now, let's go ahead and finish up the transformation with, first, the laser sight that snaps on top. And then we will extend the laser sight all the way. And finally, the barrel silencer, which pegs into the barrel. And remember, that's the Laserbeak figure. And here we have the completed gun mode, and it looks freaking fantastic. It also feels good too, especially holding it. It's an incredibly wide gun mode, and with the lack of decals and coloring, that might be a negative to some, but I like it. I think it looks really, really cool, and at the end of the day, it is a very nice Walter P38 mold. Halfway through the transformation, though, you end up with a Gerwalk gun, which is a really neat little fan mode that I just love. I think Megamaster is absolutely fantastic. Now, when you purchase the figure, it will come with full color instructions and a full box. My test version of the figure did not come with any instructions or a box. And the issues with the ratchets that I have should not plague you one bit. Overall, though, it's a fantastic figure and probably the best third-party Megatron that I have ever held. It's a lot of fun, it's huge, and it also comes with its own little laser beak. So everybody, thank you for watching this video review. As always, I am Bolt Matrix for the Chosen Prime, and we will catch you next time.